Hello, I'm Scott Bogey here with Tiarnan Loughran ahead of his upcoming fight against Ramzan Jandarbaev. How are you doing today?
Yeah, Scott, all good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, obviously, this isn't the opponent you were scheduled to face. You were meant to face Steven Dramez, however, he had to withdraw. How does that affect the preparation for this fight?
To be honest, Scott, not at all. I would say I don't think I'll be honest, nothing changed. I kept obviously I have mixed sparring partners anyway in Fight
Yeah.
Academy, but kept sparring the same people. I kept sticking to my style. Um nothing changed. I'm gonna fight him the same way I was gonna fight Stephen. I'm gonna put it on him, push a high pace, and yeah. Nothing really changed that way.
And has training camp been going well this time?
Yeah, it's gone unbelievably well. I was over there in Vegas. Me and Keelan, we were training with
Yeah.
some unbelievable guys over in Xtreme Couture. Got It was a really nice way to start camp. We were over there. I think I was like 7 weeks out, so we've done 10 days there, and then came home and got my last 6 weeks in Fight Academy here. Still a bit to go. Still got 5 days of camp left, but yeah, it's went absolutely perfect, and I'm feeling good for next week now.
And how big do you feel like LFL is now getting? Obviously, you do have Pinto, who was on the Contender Series. He's got the contract now. Do you feel like
Mhm.
it's an organization which is now on the rise?
It really is. I was like I don't know. Like I do see myself being a long way off the UFC. Like obviously I'm not there yet,
Yeah,
like skill wise, but even just time wise, I'm still only 23 years old. So I never really seen LFL as that. I never really seen them as like staying there until the UFC, if you know what I mean. But like now I'm seeing these guys they're on the contender series. I think they got two guys signed. Is it just the one was it?
I think it was just one. There was one that was meant to be in the Contender Series, but he had to drop out.
Right. Well, they've got two guys there at least. Like, so if they can at least get to the contender series, like that's an unbelievable opportunity. So like, no, it definitely it motivates you more. It shows you the path that they can take you. It's a growing promotion. Like,
Exactly. And how is it having your brother already being in the UFC? Do you guys try to get the experience from him?
do you know what I actually like about? Do you know what I think the biggest advantage of Keelan being in the UFC? Like for me personally, like nearly as like a selfish. Like I've been to the UFC PA now. I've
Yeah,
been to UFC Atlantic City. I've been backstage, seen these guys, and I'm like seeing what they've done. So having Kale in the UFC is just it's an absolute that way is an absolute massive bonus advantage for me. But even just to get his like knowledge on the sport and get
yeah.
like maybe some stuff he's made mistakes in, maybe some stuff he's done right that he can share on to me. Um no, having Kale in the UFC is it's only a bonus. It's only a bonus for me. Like
And is having him in this fight game with you, does that just push your determination even more? Because you do have that family connection.
yeah, yeah, it definitely does. When I'm walking, I suppose when I'm walking to the cage, I normally always see Keelan and like in a way, you never want to. I don't know. Maybe you want to because we obviously don't train together now,
Yeah,
and we're always telling each other like we'll always say like "fuck, I've got better," like "fuck, I've leveled up," and maybe you want to show it. And plus, you don't want to be going home with a loss. But as far as that, like trying to impress him, not really. I've had a lot of fights now, like so. This will be fight number 16 coming up here. So like, I've probably passed that wee bit now as far as that goes.
and you are 2-0, both were finishes. Was there any nerves going into that professional debut earlier this year?
Not at all. Not at all. To be honest, like I don't know. It was weird. I was a bit experienced amateur, but for like some reason, I was always like, I can never see myself as a pro. It was weird. I was like, I don't know what I could never like picture. I was like, I never see myself getting out of the 3 minute rounds. But then it just happens. Like you're just there now. Now
Yeah,
you are a pro, and then that's the next step. And it just seems like another fight. I've heard one say, like I remember McGregor saying that, like it's just the next one. Even when you're making your UFC debut, it's like, oh, you're here now. It just feels normal. And when he fought for world title, he said it was just like it's just like you're here now. So to be honest, no, there was no nerves really, and I would be very surprised about any nerves in 2 weeks. I can't say it. Probably not. Like
and do you feel like the Irish MMA is just on the rise right now? Like you say, you have McGregor who introduced it, you have Ian Gary who is coming up, you have your brother also in the UFC, but also coming up, you do have Paddy McCrory, who was on The Ultimate Fighter. You have Paul Hughes, who fights next week for the PFL. You have got a lot of upcoming fighters as well.
Irish MMA is booming, and sure, two of the names, Fight Academy Ireland. Fight Academy Ireland is absolutely flying. It's going to be a massive year. Paul gets the win. Paul gets the win next week. Paddy McCrory is signed to the UFC. We have a few guys, Matthew Elliott, Corey McLaughlin going pro. Like, there's going to be a few boys in the gym now. Scott Harvey, the boys, 4-5-0 pros. You have again UFC. You have one of the best fighters in the world. It's fucking, yeah. Irish MMA is booming. Fight Academy Ireland is absolutely flying. So yeah, it's I would say it's only going to get up. Only going to go up. I can't see it going down anyway. It's going to be a good year now.
And do you have many more fights left on your contract with LFL?
No, this is the last one. So a lot of ones have been asking me what's the plan next, but I'm actually not sure. Like, because LFL can get you, like, they can get you to the Contender Series, and Cage Wars seems to be the same. It seems like it gets you to the Contender Series, so maybe that's nearly like the best you can do. Getting straight into the UFC now seems to be a hard thing. So I don't know. I'll have to talk to Pat and Shando, my coaches, and just see what they think. They're very, obviously so much more experienced than me. They know what they're at. So I'll get talking to them and see what happens.
And I guess the value with your gym is you have got a lot of fighters who have signed up to Cage Warriors who can give you a bit more insight on that environment.
Mm. You know, as I would be very comfortable in the Cage Warriors scene. Like, I've been backstage with Keelan. I was always a massive fan of Cage Warriors, and that was always my plan. So I just feel like, I don't know. I would say that could be next, but I'll not promise anything because I'm not sure. I don't know what the plan is. I know I'm gonna have a rest after this one. I know that's the fucking plan. This will be me for the year. I would think. It's been fucking hectic. This is fourth fight camp in like 10 months. Maybe it doesn't sound like that much, but they've been heavy fight camps. Like, so I'm looking forward to a rest after this one, resetting, and then taking next year as it comes. Just see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is your first fight of the year. The other fight was in December last year. Do you like staying as active as you are, or do you like to take it maybe just a tiny bit slower?
No, I like to be active. To be honest, when I don't have a fight, like, not that I struggle to be in the gym,
Yeah.
but I do notice my improvements a lot more when I've got a name. And I would say everyone in me is the same. Like, but I am looking forward to a bit of a break after this one, and maybe just like, I don't know, relaxing the training a bit, improving the skills a wee bit more, and then maybe next February, something like that, showing a different style again. But no, next year I want next year to be the same. I want the four. I like the 4 fights a year. Even 3 fights a year seems a bit not low for me, but if I can stick to having 4 a year, I'd be happy.
And how did you get into the MMA scene?
I suppose Keelan was there first. I was big into Gaelic football. Like, I was massive into Gaelic football. But I completely blew my leg out. I done everything. I done my leg. I actually broke the top bone of my leg and blew the patella tendon in my knee. Done a really, really bad injury. And then that took, I think I was on like my leg was like fully locked out with a brace for nearly like 3 or 4 months. Got back from that, went to one, I swear to God, I went to one MMA session, and then that was it. I don't know. I never even thought about football or never looked back. Just then I went to a Clan Wars event, and I swear to God, I done training like, I think I was training like 3 weeks. I swear to God, I was hitting pads with Keelan and stuff for like 3 weeks, doing a bit of jiu-jitsu. I was like, fuck me, I could definitely beat these boys. And then I fought like 9 months later. So it all changed wild quick. But yeah, that's how I got into it. I was actually put out of football from a bad knee injury, and then went to the MMA. Never looked back.
So you could kind of say it was love at first sight.
What is it?
Love at first sight.
Love at first sight. I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change a thing. Maybe I'll go back to the GA. Maybe I'll do what I have to do here, and hopefully the space of about 5 years, 6 years, and then in my early 30s I can hit the GA scene. Maybe go back.
Exactly.
I'll be
And
dead.
with your amateur career, you were able to get some titles. How was it to be able to call yourself a champion?
How clear? What? Sorry.
How was it to be able to call yourself a champion?
Yeah, it's obviously good. It was actually deadly. Like I would always look back, like especially at one night in the Devonish against Vladimir Stanka when I won my second belt,
Yeah,
and that was like that was a mental time. Like I fought for two belts in the space of I think it was 6 or 7 weeks, um, and beat him, got the belt put around you. Like I know it's only an amateur belt, but it means
yeah.
a lot. It means a lot, and it shows that the more of them amateur belts you get, the more you defend. It shows you're that bit closer to the pro scene. Um, so I always find them amateur belts are a good way to go off. It's a good way to know that if you're the top amateur, you should be fighting for the belts, and you're winning them, you're defending them. It's a good sign that you're ready to go pro. So no, I look back. That's a look back and have a good memories, definitely.
And was there any ever a discussion about maybe doing something like an IMAFs or that during your amateur career?
No, see, I think this is the problem. Like I was never even asked, but I know it's like it's down to gym affiliates in
Yeah,
Ireland and stuff like that. Like Fight Academy Ireland aren't part of that, which they should be. We've got some of the best amateurs in the country by an absolute mile, but I was never even asked to go to the AMAS. But hey, it's something I definitely would have done. I know it's like a same day weighing thing. That wouldn't interest me.
yeah.
To be honest, that'd be a tough ask, but that would have been an unbelievable experience. If I was to give any amateur advice, I would say do that stuff. Like travel the world, get in tough fights. That would be the way to go, definitely.
And how is it? Because like you're saying, you did go to the States for a bit of this training camp. How is that for like improvement, seeing the differences they do towards you?
Yeah, it was unreal. Like I was training with we were in Xtreme Couture for a lot. If I was to say we linked up with one gym the most, it definitely would have been Extreme. We were in there maybe like 4 or 5 days. Got a lot of training with their guys. Some unbelievable fighters. Was actually like actually had a spar with a guy. Had this really good spar with a boy, like a fucking scrap in front of the whole gym, and then got like a 1-to-1, not private obviously, but like 1-to-1. I don't know, improvement, like fucking coaching from
Yeah.
Sean Strickland in the cage. He actually pulled me into the cage. He says, "I want to show you a few things," and that's unbelievable, like fucking unreal. And then I was training with Cody Yarbrandt a lot. Me and him actually became quite good mates. I was talking to him most days in the PA because he trains there like full time. He's pulled like a team together there. Um, got a few rounds with Cody. Got a few rounds with like a few UFC fighters, like some of the best fighters in the world. So yeah, it showed me where I'm at, and you know what it is? It showed me that the fucking the dream is there if you want it. Like the
Yeah.
dream is to get to the UFC, but I know I can get there now. I'm only 23 years old, and I was like I know I can get there. So no, that was even looking back at my camera roll, the memories, that was the best 10 days of my life, man. It was unbelievable. Like it
And
was
it does
unreal.
and it does show you that that dream is there for you to get it. It isn't just a dream, you are able to get it a reality.
What's that, sorry?
It's not just a dream, you can make that a reality. You can see the path to get to the UFC.
Oh, 100%. It's just you know what I think. Like obviously, I know nothing. I'm a 2-0. I'm a 2-0 pro. I fought two guys that fuck me. If I had lost to them, it was call it a day. Like I had to win them fights. Like, but like I just think you have to take each fight as it comes. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't start looking past. Like I'm not even thinking of the UFC yet. I'm just gonna take each fight as it comes.
Yeah.
Whatever's next, sign. If Cage Wars is next after this one, sign that Cage Wars deal. Win my say it's 4 fight deal. Win them 4 fights. If I sign with LFL again, another 3 fight deal. Win them 3 fights, and that UFC contract will be there. Like I just all I have to do is keep winning, and I'll get there. 100%.
And how would it feel for you if you did sign with Cage Warriors and you got on to one of their Irish shows?
Yeah, it'd be good. It would be deadly. I wanna enter that scene. Like I look at that scene right now, the featherweights, and I don't fear any of them. Luke Riley, that fucking fight Luke Riley in the morning and run straight through him. Any of them Cage Warriors featherweights, and I would take that fight. Fucking if Jandarbaev pulled out next week, and I get any of them featherweights in that Cage Wars, any of them, I would take it in a fucking heartbeat. So yeah, I want to be on that scene, and I want people talking to me fight for that Cage Wars belt. That's the goal. That's the short term goal. But I definitely want that.
And like you're saying, you did have a few rounds with Sean Strickland at Xtreme Couture. How is he like as a person? Because I know he has got quite a lot of controversial views. However, a lot of people do say he is a very kind-hearted guy.
We didn't do we. I'll make this clear. I didn't do any rounds with him. I didn't spar him. I definitely didn't spar him. I got to that gym and so the first person I seen was Sean Strickland on the mat.
Yeah.
I goes, oh fuck, there's Strickland. I looked at him and I was like, Jesus, I hope he does not ask me for a spar. He is massive, lad. He is so big. And then he put up on Instagram saying he's 240 pounds. So this was the funny thing. When he called me into the cage, he was like, so obviously I was actually surprised. He is a nice guy. Like he's a really nice guy, but he's obviously a bit nuts. Like
Yeah.
Strickland that's well known. He's a bit of a lipper. But he pulled me. So I had this absolute scrap with the boy in the gym. And then Strickland goes to me, all right, I want you to come into the cage with me for a second. And I'm not gonna lie, lad, I was shaking myself. I thought he was gonna pull me into that cage and kick the absolute fuck out of me. This was all running through my head. And I was wild tired going into the cage. But thankfully he just coached me and he taught me a few taught me a few great things. But yeah, he was a nice guy. Don't get me wrong, he was there for his own training and he was nice enough. Like he was as nice as you would expect him to be, really.
Exactly. And do you have any like traditions or that you like to do before a fight, or any like spirit things or that rituals?
Not there's I always well, I actually didn't do it the last time. I always have like a wee 15-minute nap. And I swear to God, like even if I don't sleep, I actually didn't do it the last time because I was like the third person in the card and the fight was at like 6 o'clock, so I didn't really need it. Or maybe even it was like 5:45 or so. But I normally have like a wee 15-minute nap and then I just bounce out of the car and then like this fucking ready to go. But as far as rituals, not really. Like I feel like if you need that stuff, there's already something there in a way. Like what if you can't do it? What if that
Yeah.
ritual, I don't know, you eat a certain food or you have a certain drink and you can't get that drink. What are you gonna do in your head? Are you gonna fucking I can't fight or fuck I'm gonna lose? I feel like that's I don't know, I feel like that stuff you shouldn't really need it, but if you do, you do, I suppose.
Exactly. Well, thank you for coming on. That was great. I know you're gonna smash this guy and get whatever has happened next, whether it's LFL, Cage Warriors. I know you'll do great.
Fucking right. What did you say his first name was again?
It's like Ramzan.
Ramzan. I kept forgetting. I've just been referred to him as Jandarbaev because I could not remember his first name. Ramzan. We're gonna get him next Sunday. Ready to go.
Well, I'll let you have the final word. Is there anything else you're liking to add, or anyone you're wanting to shout out?
No, just I suppose just a big shout out to the team over in Fight Academy for helping me get ready, and a shout out to all the sponsors. Fuck, I've done really well with sponsors this camp. Shout out to Bimber Construction for getting me over to the States. A lot of people asked me how that went. If it wasn't for them boys, I wouldn't have been there. So big shout out to them. And then all my other sponsors, hey, if I was to name all of them, would be here and end up leaving somebody out. So just a big shout out to all the sponsors and everyone helping me, I suppose.
Well, thank you for coming on it. That was fantastic.
Yes, Scott, thank you. Thank you.